find yourself grounded and supported. I think supported is a really good and powerful way to describe this seat. So you want to be able to relax and at the same time feel supported. And that might be something different every single day. It might be leaning into something one day, it might be simply being upright another day. So honoring and appreciating this moment as it is, this moment here and now. And then we'll close our eyes and we'll become curious to actually witness this moment. And in my own journey and experience, I find eyes closed very helpful to soften the thinking brain. So there seems to be a direct connection between eyesight and thinking brain, at least for me. So closing the eyes gives the brain a moment to soften. So there's less input, less things streaming in. And then soften your hands onto thighs or into your lap. And another thing closing our eyes does is that, like, every time we get stuck in thought, every worry, every fear, every anxiety, anything that's contraction in our minds surfaces as a contraction in our body. So inattention always manifests in attention somewhere in our body, and we're so familiar with this body being tense that we don't notice anymore. But as we sit here today now and close our eyes, bring your awareness to eyebrows and space between eyebrows and eyelids and all the little muscles that hold your eyeballs in place. And notice how you might be holding tension there. Ask yourself, what would it feel? Would it feel different if I fully relaxed my eyebrows, my forehead, my eyelids, my cheeks? Really softening the eyeballs inwards, softening the eyelids, and notice if that in any way influences your inner landscape. And we're not seeking, we're simply watching and observing. We're simply allowing this moment to unfold in its own unique way. We stepping beyond this I, me, my thing, holding on, wanting to control and manipulate. We surrendering into this bigger space, into the spaciousness that surrounds us, but also into that space within ourselves, which is spacious, like the vast blue sky. So witnessing sensations around the eyes. Guiding our attention down to nostrils and witnessing breath flowing in and out. Witnessing the hairs on the inside of our nostrils moving with breath. Softening around that experience. Following breath down our throat into lungs, and maybe gently deepening breath down towards tailbone if today your lower back needs some length, or maybe into belly. Maybe there's a tension, a contraction there. Give yourself permission to flow with your breath, to expand gently on every inhalation and soften and surrender on every exhalation. Let's maybe pause our attention around our neck and shoulders, and doing the same we did with our eyelids, our forehead, just tuning in, sensing and softening. Am I holding tension? Our hearts are wild things, but also fragile, tender things. So we keep it in a cage, we keep it in armor. And we hold tension in our upper backs, in our chest, in our collarbones, protecting our hearts. And see if here and now you can release some of that. Just for now. We can put it back on after class, but just for now, give yourself permission to simply be. Let us bring our hands onto heart center, wherever that is for you, just resting them there. Staying upright, staying tall, stay connected to your breath. Keep your shoulders soft, your collarbones open, and simply feel and witness what this does. Sense your hands resting on chest. Feel the space underneath your hands and simply explore and witness. Notice what might arise. Who are you in this space? Who are you when you're not holding on? Who are you beyond your mind? Breathe into that space. Let us drop our hands back onto knees or thighs, pausing here again. Every inhalation growing tall and wide and spacious. Every exhale trusting earth to hold you. Let your sit bones ground. Let your thighs relax. Your knees soften. Your inner thighs open up. And the inhalation allows you to grow tall again. Tall and spacious. And let us take that length into slowly flickering our eyes open. Notice the space in front of it and witness and observe it like you've never seen it before. Looking at the world through these eyes of not knowing, curiosity. And then we reach our arms out to the side, spreading our fingers wide, maybe rolling our wrists forwards and back. And simply noticing, how does my body move? How are things connected? We'll bring our fingertips down onto mat and gently walk them back. Tuck your elbows in towards one another. You might be on fingertips or flat hands as you lift your sternum forwards and up. Roll your shoulders away from one another. Open your ribs, breathe into heart. Lift your pelvic floor. Every inhalation makes you long through the spine, through the heart. Every exhale lets you soften around it. Maybe lifting throat. Soften out. No wrong, no right. And then sit yourself back up. Grab your elbows. And let your elbows slide down towards earth. So grabbing the elbows behind, roll your shoulders back. Let your arms rest heavy on your lower back. And you'll find you can gently lean into your arms, so as if you're leaning into yourself, really supporting yourself. Feel your collarbones widen as your elbows and shoulder blades slide down, as your shoulders widen. And keep your chest open and spacious, and let's just lift maybe one ear at a time up to ceiling. So as the shoulders and ribs slide down, as our chest opens up, we use this moment to gently roll. Maybe the chin lifts up. And notice and acknowledge where might you need a bit of breath and a bit of space? Where might you be holding on? Exploring and noticing what it feels like to open into tension you might have been holding for a while. Notice thoughts that arise. Continue to come back to heart space, to witnessing, to sensing. And then bringing head to center. Our arms are heavy on our lower back. We tilt forwards from the pelvis, hinging from the pelvis, and gently releasing ourselves forwards. Eventually, when you feel it's right, release your hands and drop your elbows and palms onto earth, folding forwards. Feel your pelvis tilt forwards, let your spine flow forwards. Deep sense of surrendering, as if you're bowing to yourself, bowing to life.
Every inhalation gently expanding through spine, with every exhalation softening into gravity. To come up, we bring our chin to chest and roll ourselves up to sit. As we come up, we gently roll our shoulders a few times. Let them drop, drop. Let our ribs drop while our spine grows tall. We interlock our hands in front of us. Bring our palms forward. Drop our elbows gently. Drop our outer shoulders gently. And then reaching arms up high. Can we exhale, shoulders and ribs down again? And then maybe grow a little taller through your spine as if you're sit bones. So you're contracting through your pelvic floor. Reach your hands back and slide your shoulder blades down, and maybe taking gaze upwards. And if you need support, sit on a block, or if you can just be here, be here. Feel that reaching through crown, that reaching through your hands while your lower ribs and shoulder blades continuously soften downwards. Let your thighs relax. Feel that groundedness, that surrendering, dancing with expansion. Feel your heart open wide without contracting in your upper back, but making space in front and back. And take your gaze forwards. Release your hands, bring them parallel, and exhale, shoulders down. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale, right hand onto earth. Slide it over to the side. Let your left body open up. Left sit bone stays grounded deeply. Soften your right shoulder. Reach into side body. Let's inhale our left hand up to sky and stay in your side bend, but look up at hand from your nose. Lean yourself back. Open your collarbones wide. Then you inhale here. Exhale. Elbow to outer knee or towards the hip. Round your back. Tuck your tailbone. Lift your navel. Reach. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades, and whatever tension you come across, breathe into it, embrace it. Inhale, coming back up, hand up to sky, looking at hand from your nose, reaching up, right hand joins. Inhale here, exhale, we soften the shoulders down. We inhale, grow a little taller through our center. The other hand comes down, left hand reaching over to the side, broaden into side body. Feel that hip open up. And then your next inhale, slowly rise your hand up to ceiling. Look up, lean your head back, open your heart wide. Continue to slide your shoulder blades to hips, expand and widen. Inhale again, exhale, elbow to outer knee, outer thigh. Hollow out your navel, draw it into spine. Broaden your shoulder blades and find space. Breathe to where it's tight. And as we inhale, we slowly come up again. Expand, open the chest, open the shoulder, reaching up, lengthening up. Inhale here, exhale, softening shoulders down. Let's lift our knees up, our feet up. And let's just uncross them, cross them the other way. Lift them a little bit higher with ease. Shoulder blades and ribs slide down. Let's cross them again, sitting high and tall. Exhale, folding forwards. If you want to bring your hands to back pelvis, you can do that. So it's pelvis generated and then flowing forwards, folding into the space between your knees, surrendering into earth, really softening into this moment. Breathing up and down your spine. Eventually chin to chest, rounding ourselves back up to sit, rolling shoulders back a couple of times. Roll over your feet to come onto hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Align yourself, see your shins parallel, point your toes back. Spread your fingers out wide. Let's lift our palms and stretch from pinky finger to index finger. Roll your shoulder blades around. Whatever makes space, whatever lets you land and arrive in your body. Stretching our fingers, we bring our palms back down, spread our fingers wide. Good, grounding into hands and maybe circling around the wrists, just noticing, is there tension there? Can I soften a bit, release a bit? And then centering out, strongly grounded through your core, your center, your breath. You hug your elbows in, maybe straightening them out, and lift your sit bones, lift your sternum, lift your gaze, find space. Take another big deep inhalation here to find even more space, and as you exhale, you round it out, finding space in back body, lifting navel, breathing here, maybe swaying left and right from the hips or the shoulders. Inhalation, we arch again, and I invite you to flow with your own breath. Inhale to arch and exhale to round. Maybe shifting weight backwards or shifting it forwards. No wrong or right. Go deep. You determine the depth of your practice. When I do this, I feel like swimming through water. I feel like diving into the ocean. Find that fluidity. Notice that the movements we make are not separate. Like life, there are no separate events. Everything is connected. Everything is a dance. Finding your center, let's reach our right hand forward, our left leg back. Start pointing with the toes and then gently circle your ankle. One way, the other way. Gently look forwards, lift your navel. Beautiful. And then pointing toes back. Inhale here, exhale. Knee and elbow, they shoot past one another. Right elbow to right hip, left knee to left collarbone. Lift your foot, lift your knee. And inhale to extend it out again. Reach and widen. Another inhalation here for more length. Exhale to round it out. Lifting through your center, hollow out. And inhale to reach it out. Let's bring our left toes onto mat. Right hand onto mat. And gently stretch into left heel. Let's keep our left hand grounded on mat as we slowly reach our right arm up. A gentle opening into the chest. Keep your left leg extended. Reach it up. Maybe you can lift your left leg as you reach your right hand up. See if that works for you. Otherwise, toes stay on the mat. Navel in, heart open. And hand and foot down. Hands and knees. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Inhale to find neutral spine. Right hand grounds, left hand forwards, right foot back. Lots of length. Circle your right ankle. Point and flex. Relax your shoulders. Lift your navel. I'm out of breath already. How about you? Let's inhale here. Pointing right toes back. Lots of length. Exhale. Knee and elbow shoot past one another. Knee to armpit, elbow to hip. On our next inhalation, we reach it out, we expand it out. Lots of core strength, looking forwards. Inhale here, exhale, hugging it in, lifting it up. Foot, knee, shin, lift it as high as you can. Inhale to reach and extend. Left hand comes down. Right toes tuck under and come down. We press our right heel back to gently open backside of right leg. And maybe left arm wants to reach up into a little twist. Keep your right leg extended. Maybe staying here, you might be able to lift your right leg up. Or not. Or notice. Lean your head back. Open your heart back. Breathe. Stay centered and focused. Hand and knee down. Both toes, all toes tuck under. And our knees lift back into down dog. Melt yourself into down dog. Reach it up. Maybe lifting one foot at a time or bending one knee at a time. You might want to roll your head, shake your head no, or nod your head yes. Look at hands. Spread them out wide. Lift your sit bones up high. Really explore. Feel your weight shifting from hands to feet. Pressing your weight into heels, into feet. Opening wide. And then from here we'll walk our hands to feet. Let's pause halfway, if possible for you. Otherwise, hands are on your thighs. Halfway, see if you can lift your chest forwards and up. Knees can totally be bent if they need to. Inhale here and exhale, folding a little further. Maybe keeping hands here. Feel your chest open wide. Maybe you can lift all your toes up, spread them out. Ground into big toe, pinky toe base. Lift the sit bones a little higher. Inhale, lift your gaze forwards and up again. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Fold a little deeper. Let's inhale again, lifting forwards and up, whatever that means for you. And exhale to fold a little deeper from the pelvis. And then we bend our knees, make ourselves tiny round. And grounding to our feet, we rise, we stack up, we stand up.
we come up and we unfold ourselves here. I don't know about you, but I don't do this much in day-to-day life. Just expanding, spreading, reaching, claiming space. So this is a great opportunity to do so, to simply witness yourself and your inner being. What does it feel like to claim space? And from here we reach our arms up. We exhale to soften ribs and shoulders down, and see if you can inhale through your center, through your inner ankles, your pelvic floor, your crown, and then exhale again through your periphery as if you're a fountain, and inhale to rise even taller through your crown. And this next exhalation, we sit back, we cup our hands onto knees just to shift them back a little more, point them slightly outwards, spread your toes, and reach your sit bones back. Inhale to lift the heart. And as you exhale, you fold forwards, your own perfect way. Your arms might hang, they might be on elbows. They might be grabbing your heels or your big toes. No wrong or right. No good or bad. Don't think your asana, but do it. Move from a space of no mind, a space of sensing and feeling. We look forward, we find our plank. We simply explore our plank. We take away all stickers, all labels, all judgments, and we simply find ourselves here, exploring what it feels like to be here this moment, embracing that who you were yesterday, you know more. You're here now. Step your feet a little wider than your hips, and you can perfectly, absolutely have your knees on the mat to help you. But if you like, roll onto outside edge of left foot, inside edge of right foot. Now press the side edges of your feet into mat as you lift your arm up high. Stack yourself up. You might need to lean your chest back a bit, your hips forward. And if you can, if you want, top arm up and over. And if you can, if you want, your top leg might come up. It might not. Can you find ease here? Witness and explore this moment. And slowly leg down, hand down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Whew. Soften it out. Release and reach. We find our way back into plank. Our feet a little wider than the hips. And again, your knees might be on the mat to support you. Looking forwards, find your center. Roll onto right knee or outside edge of right heel. Inner left heel. Reaching your hips up, reach your hips forwards, lean your chest back, reaching up. Every inhalation is space, with every exhalation you soften, maybe left arm up and over. Keep your hips stacked, keep your chest stacked, your feet strong, your side body strong, breathing and exploring. And left hand down. With curiosity we find our plank, and it might become down dog, or you might go through a vinyasa, your chaturanga, or maybe a variation like I'm doing with the knees first and lifting, or you might find yourself in this baby cobra shape. And then find your own perfect way back into down dog. Shifting it back, reaching it up, melting heels down. And how about we do that again? If you need a rest, find child's pose. But maybe this time it's a different vinyasa that comes through you. Maybe up dog, cobra, maybe a bit of a sway, a bit of a reach, shifting it back into down dog. And how about we do that one more time? Reaching forwards, witnessing ourselves, flowing into plank, and then let's arise whatever wants to arise this moment. Coming into whatever shape comes through you. And then finding your way back into down dog. Oh, and let's do that one more time. Moving through your own vinyasa. Moving through this moment with awareness. Not from the head, but simply moment and presence. Back into down dog. Let's lift both heels, bend both knees, look forward. And find your left foot landing between hands. Now your fingertips become light. Let's gently shift forwards and back. So maybe sinking hips to earth or stretching out front leg. Shifting forwards and back. I invite you to be organic here. To notice what's alive in me this moment. What needs attention.
Even your back knee might come down for a moment to soften hips a little deeper. And then we lift the back knee again. We make sure our feet are strongly grounded and we slowly come up. Our feet hip wide, tucking everything back in, sitting back. Right hip reaches back, so right hip rolls forwards, but the hip flexor reaches back as we lift up. And we might even be able to bend the back knee, have it hover over the mat, or have it come into mat, coming back up and then dropping right heel a little lower. How about unfolding upwards? Inhale here, exhale to step back into center, contracting into your center. And only when you're centered do you unfold a little more. Spread your fingers. So how about, instead of being confined here, let's be daring and wild and out there. And claim space and shine our light and let our hearts open wide. And then we'll range forwards. Bring our hands down in line with hips. Rolling shoulders. Brave and courageous heart as we come onto left leg. And again, coming into center, so finding your center, and from here we can expand. The same as in life, we have to find our balance, our center, and from there do life. How about we flex our right foot and witness ourselves stack our hips and stack our shoulders, and imagine you could press your right pinky toe into ceiling and open your chest, and every time you fall, you come back to center. Stillness, and then move back into it. We flow back into this aeroplane shape. We step it back into lunge warrior. Feel ourselves supported and yet spacious, and we'll open that up into warrior two. Nicely grounded through both legs. And now check down. You can use your hands, you can use your eyes. Thigh parallel to mat, arms, collarbones parallel to mat. Back toe slightly forwards, fiercely gazing past the left middle finger and settling a little deeper into front knee while the right pinky toe side stays grounded. And now turning palm towards the side, feel your shoulder blades slide down, and then right hand just drops down and it slides down. Now let's keep our right hand lifted as well and reach it back, reach it back. And then bend your front knee a little deeper. And then we drop our right hand and reach our left hand up, up, up. Peek past your body. Make sure your knee is above the heel. Reach your right hip back and look up. Open your heart upwards. Claim space. Another inhalation here. And we slowly come back to center. Pressing our hands into space. Pressing them into space, sitting into space, growing taller from your center. Notice what that feels like. Really being within you. And then swiveling hands onto mat. Rolling onto right toes. Grounding hands flat. Reaching left leg back into three-legged downward facing dog. Left leg reaches high, right heel drops low. Breathe. Breathe. And left leg down. Maybe pausing here or in child's pose or flowing through a vinyasa, coming forward. Let the movement flow through you. Remember, none of these asanas are separate. Everything's a flow in life. Witness all the bits and pieces in between. Breathe into it, explore into it. We find ourselves back in down dog. Lifting our heels, bending our knees, gazing forward. And this time our right foot lands between our hands. Our fingertips light, maybe swaying side to side, maybe lifting heart and dropping hips. Maybe stretching out. Maybe back knee comes down for a moment. So there's no wrong or right. Find space. Reach it open. When you're ready, we find our knee above our heel and our back knee lifted. We find our feet ready to launch, ready to reach, arms to the sides. Find your hips. I find that really helpful. Right hip rolls back, left hip rolls forward. left heel reaches back, or maybe we drop our left knee down for a moment. Welcome to use your hands, find your core connection, lifting it up again, moving down again, in your own perfect range. Coming up, front knee forwards, back heel back, arms up, spreading our fingers and arms slightly out to the sides. Let your shoulder blades slide down, let your lower ribs and front hip bones, they're connected. That is your essence. In chakra language, this would be your personal power. Step into that and let the rest expand from there. Hands come out to the sides. Let's leap onto front foot. Explore, reach and lengthen. From your center, you might be able to flex your left foot. You might want to see what it feels like to lift your left foot up to ceiling. Right hand might help you balance, or you simply stack in space. From your center, unfolding outwards, resting into space, and then flowing back into this aeroplane eagle shape, stepping it back into lunge celebration warrior, and from here we ground into this strong powerful warrior two. I'll turn that around, grounding into it. See your front thigh open wide. See your back, pinky toe side wide, and stride your knees apart. Hands out to the sides. Mindfully turn your gaze. Arms, chest parallel to earth. And then ground into it. Let this whole section come down as much as this all moves up. Reaching into it. And then we reach into left hand. Press that hand into space. Let it be resting on space rather than pulling it up. Right hand turns to the side. Fingers spread wide, right knee forwards, reach a little further, reaching, lengthening, opening, peek past your torso, past your knee, see your knee above your heel, drop your left hand, reach your right hand a little bit higher, let your eyes smile, lift the corners of your mouth, celebrate this moment, and reaching back to center, warrior two. From here, we swivel our hands onto earth, rolling onto left toes. Having a moment, grounding hands consciously, let your hands become feet. Reach your right heel up high, left heel drops low. Elbows tucked in, pointing to back corners of the mat. Relaxing the neck. Another breath here, exhale, leg down. And then open your knees onto mat. Point your toes back. See if you can settle your sit bones into the space between your heels, or they might be on the heels or somewhere here. And then rest your torso into space between knees. Dive into this contrast of expansion and contraction. Diving into this contrast of spreading and surrendering. Movement and stillness. Notice your heartbeat. How about we turn our gaze left and rest our right cheek onto earth. Rest your sternum into earth. Can you sink your sternum and armpits down to mat? Can you stop resisting gravity and simply be? Gently lift your head, turn your gaze right, rest your left cheek into earth. Fully present with each sensation that arises. Turn your head back to center and walk your hands into knees. Now you might be sitting on heels, maybe your sit bones are on earth. Let's tilt our pelvis forwards and back a few times, side to side. Notice how everything is connected, everything connected. We come up onto knees. We bring our knees hip wide, our shins hip wide, and we lift up onto knees. We have a look, our shins parallel. We'll grab our pelvis and imagine you could lift yourself up off the earth. So you're lifting yourself up, and then you tilt your back pelvis down and you lift your front pelvis up. But there's this up movement. Feel all your toes and the tops of your feet on the mat, up
And then hands out to the side, spreading fingers wide. If that's a bit much, you can have your hands on your tailbone for support or on your thighs for support. So see what works for you right now. Open heart, open chest, strong center. Your hands might slide down towards knees or shins, calves. Your hands might come down onto feet. Take time. We're stretching our body into the opposite direction that it's used to. Maybe you drop your hips. It's very hard to talk there, so you stay, I come out. Stay and breathe. Continue to expand into heart. To surrender into the unfamiliar, the unknown. Let your heart smile, let your eyes smile. Another big inhale, and then slowly coming out of it, moving back onto hands and knees, and let this moment guide you. Releasing whatever that means this moment. And then we settle our sit bones onto heels. And we slide our hands as far forward as we can with our sit bones on heels. And then we inhale here, we exhale to drop our forehead. Externally rotate your upper arms, so feel your shoulder blades slide apart. And then looking forwards again, we reach onto hands. And then the hips drop and the heart lifts. Grounding into index finger base. Let your hip flexors soften, let your tailbone point down, let your pubic bone reach up, and then softening back into child's pose. Keep your hands where they're at, so it's a bit of a side body armpit stretch, at least for me. Rounding yourself up like a wave flowing through your body. You soften your hips and you lift your heart. Elbows tucked in, chest wide and open. Imagine there's a strong bungee connecting hip bones and lower ribs. And then back up, navel into spine, sit bones onto heels. And how about you flow in your own pace with your own breath, another 3 rounds. Welcome to explore the movement. Welcome to add on or pause. And let us meet on hands and knees. So let's tuck our toes under and lift our hips into down dog, reaching our hips back and away, gently shaking head no, nodding head yes, gently softening your collarbones towards your toes. And then have a look forward, step your feet to land behind your hands. Step your feet nice and far out to the sides, as far as you can, coming into your squat. Now if you're right at the front of your mat, you come back a little. Front your way back. Bring your elbows to inner knees, press your hands into one another. But you're actually not pressing your hands into one another, you're actually pressing your hands apart. You're pressing your elbows into your knees, so your hands are coming apart. You're opening your knees. Lift your heart, make space, make space. Soften into that space. And let's bring our hands forward. And then palms facing up, thumbs. Imagine you could make them touch behind your back. But you're opening your knees, you're using your arms as levers. Check into your feet, relax them and soften them. And then how about we bring our hands down onto earth. We know our hands are great feet. We bring our elbows in towards one another, point your elbows to hip bones. Find Bakasana. So you might want to play a bit, maybe hopping your feet together. Maybe you squeeze your elbows into upper arms, or you rest your knees into armpit. There's no wrong or right. Come into it and move out of it. See if you can place your knees anywhere else, more comfortable. Your gaze and your hands creating this triangle on your mat, giving you stability. It's as if your third eye center is resting on earth, your forehead.
your eyebrows, and relax. Treat this moment with curiosity. Yes, if a headstand wants to come through, you're welcome to venture there. And just be. How much ease and peace can you find here? Might you be able to push up into a handstand? Who knows? Don't limit yourself. Let's slowly come back into our squat. We'll bring our hands back and come to sit. And then we'll bring the feet together in front of us. Our hands here behind us to support us as we butterfly our hips open, as we soften our hips gently. And if it's available to you, you bring your hands onto feet. Hamstrings a bit tight, keep your hands here, or maybe even resting your back against a wall. And open the knees a little wider. My son showed me another asana the other day. So what he does from here is he reaches forward. He pops onto the outside edges of his feet and then brings his hands forwards, and then he said, Mommy, now you need to rest your chest onto the mat and your tummy onto your feet. So, you know, why not? So opening the knees out to the sides, maybe venturing here, exploring here. We'll come back to seated. We'll grab our knees and reach our legs forward and just gently swaying them, shifting them side to side. Let's make our way to the front of our mat so that you can lie down onto your mat. Reach your arms forward, holding the space in front of you with lots of spaciousness. And then roll your tailbone, point it away, lift your navel up and in, and roll yourself down onto earth, and maybe coming back up again. It's almost like you're stretching the muscles along your spine. You're breathing gaps between the vertebrae. And release it down. Place your head down onto earth. Let's reach our arms up and over, palms facing up. Let's lift our feet. Some of us might need our hands here to support us. Maybe you're good where you're at, and then flex and point the feet. If you're happy here, stay here. If shoulder stand is part of your practice, move into that. So maybe the feet dip up and over. Your knees on your forehead. And again, how about there's no wrong or right? How about you let this moment guide you? How about we become playful again with life? Wherever we go and whatever you do, make sure you add space first. So every inhalation expanding, and then on your exhalation give yourself permission to journey. If you're in your shoulder stand, come back down, find your way back down. Pausing in plow or wherever you like to. We come into the happy baby. So we bring our knees open and wide towards armpits. Keep your tailbone grounded into earth. And then grabbing thighs or feet, we play, we move. Maybe stretch and straighten one leg at a time into hands, or both at once. You might be able to open your toes onto mat alongside your ears. Where are you holding on? Do you need to hold on to that tension that's there? Might you be able to simply soften? And from child's pose, let's bring our fingertips to the back of our head. Gently lift our head, sway our hips and knees side to side, softening the sacrum. If there's anything else you feel you want to do before you come into Shavasana, you're welcome to journey there. Otherwise, stretch your legs up. Broaden your sacrum, rest your spine, rest your head. Rest your arms down. Feel your shoulder blades broad, tucked under, but yet lots of space through the center of your spine, your lower back. Feel your fingertips curl in. Close your eyes. Feel your collarbones soften. Really drop into the deliciousness of this moment.
drop back into stillness. Your eyes closed. Notice if there's tension around the eyelids, the eyeballs, and soften. Surrender to breath breathing you. Surrender to heart beating and pushing blood through your body. Open and witness. Surrender your body into gravity and let earth hold you. Surrender to whatever is alive within you right now. On a sensual level, on an emotional level, on a thinking level, and continue to find what's still and spacious amongst all of that. We grow into this world, we grow into this human life, attaching to all sorts of things, trying to find and define our identity. How about letting go of all of that just for a moment and finding what's still and spacious? Going beyond all that is thought and giving ourselves permission to simply be. Being present with this moment. Being the presence that witnesses thoughts and emotions and sounds and sensations. And maybe, what if just that is who you really are? What if you are this bright, spacious, shining light inside? This inner vast and blue sky that can hold any kind of weather, any kind of airplane, bird, landscape. It just sits there, untouched, timeless, endless. Maybe that is who you are. What if? How might life feel and look lived from this space? Where we're able to witness and experience everything, but we don't get caught up, we don't get attached, we remain spacious. Let your breath be your reminder of this space. So breathing in space, breathing out space. Enjoying this dance of expansion and contraction. Remain connected to that space as you let your body be inspired to maybe move around, gently awakening back into movement. In your own time, rolling over onto whichever side feels true for you. And without effort, finding your way back up to seated. Closing the circle, coming back to where we started. In many ways a circular movement, in many ways not at all. Sitting tall, reaching through your crown and softening through your periphery with every exhalation you take. Bring your hands onto heart and witness. Witness breath and heartbeat, but also sensations. Simply being with heart space, what does that do? What happens? Let us inhale together, reach and expand, and as we exhale, we gently bow as a gesture of honoring and thanking ourselves, and honoring and thanking one another for journeying together. Slowly as you lift your gaze, flicker your eyes open. And I thank you for for journeying with me today. Again, it is such a joy, such an honor to be allowed to guide you and to share this with you. So thank you for sharing you with me too. Have a beautiful day. I hope to see you tomorrow.